How's it going, everyone? On today's live show, we are going to be talking about what will happen in the Phantom's End, a discussion whether in the Phantom's End is there a ghost person, a ghost artist doing the art for Mike Manley. We'll find that out later we'll find out later. We'll find that firstly up in the show, and a discussion about the new Phantom comic by a new publisher, and a whole lot more entertainment for you. A whole lot more entertainment on this Wednesday night. But first, let us introduce our first guest for tonight. Please make a warm welcome to the team at Zauberstern Comics. How's it going?
Hi, great. My name is Johnny. I'm from Zauberstern Comics. I'm the translator from the new Phantom comic in Germany. We have made a magazine for about hundreds pages. And yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I hope you're okay with me.
And that it's like I know I'm getting a bit off track, but like when I am doing these sort of things, the audience already knows that half the time I already know that I'm going to be nervous because it's just you being human. The first thing we are going to be talking about this week is what is happening in the Phantom Daily story, the Phantom's End.
Wait a second. I don't understand it right. I hope you can help me, please.
Okay, so
Sorry.
So there's a new, as everyone knows, as the audience and as Phantom fans, we know that there's going to be a new Phantom. There's a Phantom story currently running in the daily script right now, and it is currently being done by Mike Manley and Tony D. Paul. Now, this story, I would say, it's been dragging on for a long time, and as fans and as fans of the Phantom, when a story drives and is going for so long, you happen to realize, like, if a story is going for so long, then, and because it's going for so long, it's the Phantom's End. So is there going to be a possibility in the Phantom possibly not this current Phantom continuing on to the 22nd Phantom? And a lot of the times in this daily strip, when we've seen it and we've looked at it and we've read it, it's that when we've seen it and all that sort of stuff, like the art has been amazing. Like the daily and the Sunday strip have been amazing, and I go kudos to Mike Manley. He's an amazing artist. He's an amazing person. I've actually been able to interview him a couple of years ago, and he's an amazing bloke. There's another guy called Jeff Weigel, and he's amazing as well. I've met him in Australia. I've met him. He's an amazing person. And one of the big things on this story we've got to look out for is because you've got the Phantom and Diana. Phantom wakes Diana in the early mornings of him being in the Skull Cave in May. And when he was in May the 20th, Kit finally, because all this time, Diana has never actually ever had any contact made with Kit. There's only been like letters being sent to the people at the Skull Cave in the stories, and one of the things that happened on the May the 20th, which is one of the most important Phantom date of one of the dailies that happened in May, which was what happened on the May the 20th. It was Kit finally contacts the 21st Phantom and a Diana. Now, from him contacting the Phantom and Diana in the Skull Cave, that
Mhm.
sets off a huge array of events. Like we've got in the June the 1st and the next couple of days after that, the Phantom actually travels to the Himalayas to find out, to try and find, because in the days leading up to June the 1st
Mhm.
and in the days leading up to that, there's like, because Savannah Devi, Savannah was obviously, she escaped out of Gravelines. She escaped out of Rhodia with the help of the Phantom. So when the Phantom then tells Savannah, this is where my future successor is,
Mhm.
and then she then goes to that place. She goes to the Himalayas and really sets off a whole heap of events. We've got Chief Constable Champa. He gets fatally wounded with a pistol gun. We've seen that big flash moment in, I think, January or February or March. In that moment, we saw a whole week of stuff happening, and we didn't see much dialogue. But that was because they were doing a flashback. And then from there, it all boils over, and we've seen big explosions, big fiery explosions happening in the Himalayas. And then when all that is done, the Phantom then travels to the Himalayas to find Kit and to try and bring him home. But in Kit contacting the Phantom and the Diana on the May the 20th, he is not necessarily going to say, oh, well, wait, I'm not actually going to be coming back to the Skull Cave. I'm actually be going to continue the fight up the north and trying to say, who were these people that actually came and basically went and bombarded the Himalayas, and now he's off on his travels and he's going up to the Himalayas. Now, on June the 13th, we see that the Savannah is possibly, now this is yet to be unconfirmed, but we see Savannah possibly to up to go to talk to the Phantom. Now, Savannah, she is one of, I would say, she has very deep contacts with the Phantom and Diana Palmer and Diana Walker, as everyone knows. But when we see this happening, we're just like saying, hang on a sec, you've got everything happening in the Himalayas, for instance, and now Savannah then turns up to the Phantom's doorway and expects to see him. Now, if that had happened in a normal person and you rocked up into someone's house and they say, you just knock on the door and they say, who are you? They would be what you'd call really, they wouldn't have a clue who you were. So for Savannah to do this, and because the first panel actually shows Mike Manley hasn't been credited as the artist, and now today we even heard on Facebook. Like I was looking on Facebook before we did this live stream, and I was looking
Mhm.
at it because the latest daily came out this today because it's what, a Wednesday,
Mhm.
and it shows Savannah, and she is at the start of her conversation with the Phantom. So, my predictions are with this daily script, and none of my predictions may come true. Like, none of my predictions may come true. Like, I've made predictions in the past, and they haven't made true. I'm not someone to say I'm not, what, Paracelsus in a way,
Mhm.
but my predictions is obviously Kit is obviously the 22nd Phantom is supposed to go up to the top north of the Himalayas where the big bombardments came from. And I'm guessing he's going to be somehow helping that out. But when the Phantom actually finds him, I betcha, there will be something dramatic happen. If I don't, if we don't, if we do see it happen, and something then happens to all of our favorite character, the Phantom, I will be very, very, very disappointed. I will be very disappointed if they do somehow make the Phantom not being able to stay around for a lot longer. Like, I will be very disappointed in that. But if it doesn't happen, if the Phantom is still alive and he's still in the comic strip and there's still stories coming out, because he's the 21st Phantom, if he's still around, I'll be very much be happy. So that is my predictions.
Mhm.
Let us know in the comment section, what are your predictions for this daily strip, and what in general have you thought of the comic strip in general in the dailies from Mike Manley, and even today or yesterday when we saw the ghost artist appear yesterday. It really, the ghost artist, which was I think Brent Blevins, there was a article published by him, article published by Chronicle Chamber today that actually stated who that artist was. Yeah, and I just find that interesting how there's not always one person doing the daily strip. There's sometimes other people mysteriously going around and drawing the character. I just find that's fascinating. Now, coming up on the live show, we are going to be having a discussion about the new Phantom comics from Germany. We are going to be having another discussion about Grange Wallis to do a new art folio featuring the Phantom. Now, with that, Supernova Sydney's on this weekend, and I will be attending that Supernova Sydney, and it's going to be so awesome. I'm very excited for it, and it's just going to be so cool. I'll be actually be doing some. I'll be recording some footage down there, and it'll be up probably next week or the week before, next week or the week after. And then I answer some questions live from the audience. If you have any questions you would like to ask Zauberstern Comics after the questions, you can do so. So, as everyone knows, or should know by now, The Phantom is going to be published by Zauberstern Comics. And this week, we are discussing the new book from them. And when I was actually looking on their website, like I've got their website up on my computer right now, and it actually says like they're releasing 6 new books, not just one, 6 new books over I don't even know how many often, and that's going to be one of the questions. Now, in the first issue, the book will contain a new few publication story, and personally, I haven't read it, but if I do find it down Supernova, I will be getting it. But the book also features an old Lee folk story, and now we will be heading to the questions for further discussing of this thing. So, in question number 1, how often will there be issues of the Phantom coming out from Zauberstern Comics?
We want to make it every 2 months as a monthly, as a new as a story. Sorry.
So good.
How is how I say, we want to print it out every 2 months to bring it in our shops and in our storage.
Question number 2, is there a special reason why your company is wanting to make comics about the Phantom? Is like there been a special thing that you found interesting about the Phantom, and why have you wanting to do stuff with this character?
Our chief, Simeon Hisamalis, for him, his was one of his first superheroes, or better say, one of his first heroes who he is reading. And you must see, Phantom was published here in Germany about 1970, 1980 around, and
Yeah.
was away. Not new comic was when the movie came out in the late 90s, nothing more. And he said, why? And now we have his 30th anniversary or something like that here in Germany. We said we printed new, we take the stories and we write it now.
So what you're trying to say is that you're taking new stories and old stories and you put them both together and then you make a Phantom comic out of it. And then for people who are fans of the Phantom or are basically fans of the Phantom internationally or in your country, they have something to read and then they have like, I don't know, something to read while they're chilling in their armchair or they're chilling wherever they are. Yeah,
We want to make this comic for old fans and find new
yeah,
fans.
yeah,
Something similar our chief Simeon make with the story from Jan Tenner. He makes Simeon makes audiobooks as his Hauptjob or as his main job. Sorry, and one of this was the story of Jan Tenner. Jan Tenner is something similar like Flash Gordon, and
oh,
he
cool.
write new stories, as a really new one. Which is in comic a little bit difficult because you need an artist who can paint it, and the financial must be okay. When you have to write an audiobook, you write your own stuff, and you don't need it really to paint all than the covers and something like that.
Yeah,
And he makes a legacy person like that, and he wants to make more. And for him, Phantom is this more.
I find it interesting how I I do find it interesting how we've seen new publishers come online every. We saw Regal Publishers came online a couple of years ago. They've just made their trade paperback, and I find it interesting how if you are making new Phantom comics and if you are then distributing them all around, maybe in their country, or they're distributing them all around the world, then at some point with these new publications, you're going to find that you may or may not have new audience that might turn up and say, "Oh, wait, what is this character? Who is this character? What is this book name? And what are the more stories about him?" So, yeah, I think it's very interesting how new people, new publishers, they come and create comics for Phantom fans, but they're not only creating it for the normal fans, they're also going and wanting new a new audience to come in and read their comics. I find it interesting.
Same for me. When I can put it there. Um, for me is that I'm born 1984. Yes. For
Yeah,
me, there was only Phantom in the as in the movie, the TV movie or what it was, true, and the cartoon. You know,
yeah.
Defender of the Earth or Phantom. What was it? 2177 or something like that.
The Phantom 2040.
2040, thanks. This was for me my beginning with Phantom. Yeah, I found on flea market old comics. You can read it, but to keep it alive, it's something difficult. And I
Yeah,
want to read more. I want to see more. But the only thing where I can find new comics is online on the World Wide Web. And
yeah.
now we can give the people who hungry for new stories or similar stories more, thanks to the our publication was outside, thanks to Moonstone, Few, or something like that.
Because I because when I back in 2016, as a lot of fans on this channel know, the only way I would have found the Phantom, and the only way I would have been able to know about the character, is because I used to always every fortnight on a Thursday, or when I had time to, I would go to the news agency, I'd pick up the latest Phantom, and then you'd get home, or you'd be reading it in the car or something. You'd get home and you'd just sit down, you read a comic, and sometimes you would learn something, sometimes there might be historical stuff involved. So, yeah. Question number three is, what kind of stories will you be publishing, new or old?
We want to make a mix about it. A new one like this was we printed from Few Comics, or something old like the old Charltons or the DC comics. Because I mean, there's so much material that's
Yeah,
nothing running out. You we how explain um we want to make new stuff. Like I said, for our old demographic who is stuck in strategies years before, and we want to find new ones for
yeah,
the new readers. Like you see this stuff with Marvel and DC with the old reboots. Phantom don't have something like that, and that is what
yeah.
I find great. And you have a huge catalog of information and many more.
Question number four is, if a fan wanted to pre order future issues when you make them, will you be sending comics internationally or just in Germany? Or is there some way in they can buy Phantom Comics from Germany from your website, or what's your website called, so the viewers are able to know where they can buy it?
Eine Sekunde. Wait a second, please.
Okay,
Um,
that's all right.
I need it's search for the right things. Wait. All right. That's when I need to speak to your boss. ähm, ich search for the site. Wir brauchen die Seite. Schick sie mir mal kurz über WhatsApp, wo man das Phantom-Buch kaufen kann. So, sorry.
It's all good.
We only now print in the only German language speaking rooms like Germany,
Yep.
Swiss, and Austria. But who knows? When a fan wants to buy a comic from us, he can go to our website. Wait for my chef to send me the link. And like I said, yep, there it is. Whoop. Yeah, we make it. It's Zauberstern.de. Zauberstern-comics.de. Sorry. Can I? There possible that I can send it to the chat?
Oh, yep, radio, you can do that.
Okay. I hope that's okay. I hope you can have it. I'm not on your watch list and on YouTube. Sorry.
So,
Um,
as Charlie was saying, you can order these comics and you can order future issues if you're wanting to. If you're a fan of the Phantom, you can order the new Zauberstern comics at www.zauberstern-comics.de. And it's going to be so good that every now and then, we're going, as Phantom fans, we're going to see new stuff come out. Like last couple of years, since good old Dudley Hogarth has taken over few publications, is now the publisher. He's such a cool guy. And some of the stuff he's bringing out, like they this year they brought out the new this year they brought out the new graphic novel, which has and is featured in the in is featured with the Ghost and the Monster story, which will be published by Zauberstern Comics, and I just find it's pretty damn awesome. Now, if there is anyone in the audience wanting to ask questions about the future issues or questions about the comics, you can ask them now.
Ich sehe gerade keine Fragen, ich sehe gar nichts. Hast du? Not really. Sorry. I don't know. I see no questions or something. I need to code something. Wait a second. I'm a little bit unprepared. Sorry.
That's all right. I don't think there is any questions.
Okay.
If you would like to post your questions after the interview or after this live show, you can as well. And did you know that Grange Wallis has a stunning new Phantom cover coming out in the next couple of weeks, probably in July? Now, with the latest Phantom comic coming out in the past week or so, which was called The Flame, and is in beautiful color, that came out like a couple of weeks ago. This next comic, that is going to be a stunning cover done by Grange Wallis, is going to be released, I think, it would be next week. Not this week, but next week, I'm guessing. And in the next, also, the Melbourne-based artist has and is going to be making another beautiful piece for a new portfolio of the Phantom, hopefully coming soon. Like, I've been a fan of his Phantom art and his covers for quite a while now, and for Grange to just put this amazing piece of work out. If you haven't seen it, go look at It's on his Facebook, it's on his Instagram page, and if you haven't seen, it's also on our YouTube channel because he showed us his like process and how he just develops a cover, and it's just so amazing. And lastly on the show, we are answering any questions from the audience. And so if you have any questions about what's going to be happening with Phantom Cave and about or have ideas for the next season, I will be you can drop your questions and leave a comment down below. And if you haven't got any questions right now, it's okay. You can comment later, and or you can send me a direct message at Facebook Phantom Cave or on Instagram Phantom Cave Reviews. And lastly on the show, we are in. I hope you enjoyed this live show and you can have your say on the current stories of the Phantom in the dailies and the Sundays in the comments section down below. And as always, our good old sign off time. It is me, I'm signing off. As always, keep Phantom caving, and we will see you next time on the YouTube channel. Thank you, and it is this is has been a production by the this has been another production on the Enthusiast.